Hello. Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, is that all right? So
That's
it's
all
just
right.
glad that you
Yeah.
are sharp.
How are you doing?
Yeah, well, to sum up, I'm doing quite well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. How's the thoughts been? Has it been coming and going and sometimes heavy, sometimes light, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
to be honest, after we met 3 weeks ago,
That's right. Yeah.
so after our meeting, it got even worse.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
happens sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt really like Uh, this like fire anger,
Yeah.
deep anger and
Yeah.
deep sadness, deep
Yeah.
grief and
Yeah.
anxiety. And I couldn't even listen to you, to
Okay.
anybody. And then it probably last week, I started slowly listening to some of your
Yeah.
one-on-ones
Yeah.
again, and I've had quite many glimpses.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, and well, now I feel like crying when I see you.
Oh,
Yeah, I just feel I'm drowning in words.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Sometimes the mind fights back really, really big,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because it has a moment of clarity. And then, but I knew at that time that it's almost like there's an entry point where, for a back of a letter, better, example, like you get out of the matrix
mm,
of thinking, basically, right? That, and then, and then there's a coup d'état, like a takeover, like a bigger takeover, where everything seems heavier and everything, right? But
mm,
because there's already an entry point, there's an unfolding that's happening, right? It's gradual sometimes. For me, it was in one swoop. It was like, because there was so much suffering in the past, right? So, but for some
yeah.
people like you, it's like I hear it right there, like, oh my goodness, I couldn't even stand you. I couldn't even hear you. Um, and goes, what did he, it's just like whatever, all of the judgments came, right? And about me, right? And then
Yeah,
yes,
well,
slowly,
yeah.
slowly the the little peak becomes a bit bigger and bigger and bigger. Like the
Mm,
glimpses starts
mm,
coming until it's normalized again. It's like how do I say it in a way? It's like you were in a spell of thinking.
mm, mm.
Like there's a window that opens and then gets shut right away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what are
Well,
you with? Sorry, go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I just wanted to say that um there were like two parts of me. One part was totally attached to the story and the narrative
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
thoughts and the personality,
yeah,
but somehow, somewhere at the same time, uh, I knew that it is not me. Okay,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. You
um,
see that it's a fabrication. It's made up.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But on the other hand, when I tried to get in between.
yeah,
I tried to say to myself, there's no past, no next.
yeah, yeah,
What's between,
yeah.
without words, who are you? It didn't
No,
work
because
quite well
because
because,
what happens now is the thought is asking the thought. Now the mind is
yeah,
asking the
yeah,
mind. So what
yeah.
you're
I had to
doing
quit
is,
that. I thought,
yeah,
I felt
yeah.
that because
So it's
I'm,
almost
I'm
like,
just, yeah,
no,
I'm
no, go
just
ahead.
making another method
Yeah,
how
yeah,
to reach the relief, and I just had to quit.
yeah. And
So,
it's like
yeah.
playing ping pong, but you're going
Yeah.
from one side of the table to the other
Yeah.
side of the table. And it gets
Uh-huh.
really, really
Uh-huh.
frustrating because you're trying to end the game, but it
Yeah.
continues the
Yeah.
game and it
Yeah.
becomes more
Exactly.
frustrating because
Yeah. Yeah.
you're trying to win the game,
Yeah.
but there's only one player.
mm, mm.
Yeah,
So, nevertheless, uh, even though I am not obviously in the clarity, uh, somehow I feel that everything is just happening,
yeah,
and uh, something inside me like gave up, or
yeah,
some sort of surrender happened here. Like,
yeah,
okay, I give up the trying, the hard
yeah.
trying.
The seeking, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
seeking.
yeah,
Yes, yes, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That's why I call it the end of seeking session,
Yeah.
because enlightenment, awakening never ends.
Uh-huh,
It's not a
uh-huh.
destination,
Yeah.
right? So
And also,
there's
I have realized, yes, after our last meeting, that I had some ideas and expectations how it will
yeah,
be,
yeah.
how
That's
my
that's that's why I
life
cut it
will
short.
change immediately.
That's why I cut it short, right? Because it was getting to that point. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to entertain that, right? Because it's now
Yeah,
waiting for something to happen, right? You're like, no, no, no,
yeah,
not yet, not yet, not
yeah,
yet.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's good that we have this follow up, because there's almost like a, although this is just a story of processing of what happened, right?
Mm,
Because
mm,
the initial reaction is like, oh, this is not it. This can't be it. What the hell? What is this guy doing? That kind of thing, right? So, um,
yeah,
but it's never what you think it is. It will
yeah.
never satisfy the mind.
Mm,
The only thing that you can do, or in this story anyway, is to see that the mind can never be satisfied, because it's not there to be satisfied.
yes, yes.
Because the mind is always just a fabrication. So it will just keep on
Mm,
fabricating, maintain
mm,
a lie in words, in language, to create the
mm,
continuity, so
mm,
that it's still in control.
yeah.
So it's still in so that you're still identified with it. Now
Mm,
the identification is loosening up, right? It's like, okay,
mm,
right.
mm.
And that's the end of seeking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you know what? And this is just subjective, right? But clarity is
Mm,
without language.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's much more easier for me when I am alone or in
Yeah.
nature,
Yeah.
but when I interact with people, and especially with my
It brings you
families,
back into the story, right?
with my parents,
Oh my
it's
goodness, yeah.
so hard. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I know what you mean. For me it was the biggest challenge, right? Because after luckily it settled in a little bit, right? After a year of this, um my parents, I stayed with my parents,
Mm,
and my
mm,
parents, and then I just saw it, right? I just saw it, that even the parents, you know what I'm saying, even the stress of being in front of your parents, it's just something that passes.
mm,
You can be at peace with it now, because you'll be at peace with it later anyway.
mm.
So why not just be identified with peace?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what shifted basically in the perception, is that I got identified with the noise,
Mm,
um,
mm,
and I thought I was the noise.
mm-hmm, mm.
But the
Yeah.
peace, the silence that's always here, is so um, unintrusive.
Mm,
It's unconditional.
mm.
It's perfection, if you want to say that, right? And it's always here. It never wavers. It's always unchanging.
Yeah.
So I'm identifying with what's always changing: my thoughts, my feelings, my
Mm,
beliefs, my enlightenment, my losing my enlightenment, saying that there's no enlightenment and everything is enlightened is just all ideas that passes. And then sometimes you feel like there's someone here that is angry, and then sometimes there's just no one here at all,
mm.
right? And sometimes it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all of that is just the musings of the mind. The mind wants to stamp a passport that does not have any destination.
Mm, mm,
Yeah. It creates a memory that does not exist, right?
mm. Yeah.
And when you're tied up in the when the linearity of time, you think that you're moving through time and space, then you're going through all the motions, all of the pain, all of the suffering, right? But when you
Mm,
see that the pain, suffering, joy, bliss, freedom, all of those ideas are passing. But
mm,
there's something here that you cannot name.
mm.
Yeah. So what are you without the observer? It's direct, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No answer.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
brings you right into what we can't say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mind will try to say, well, how do I keep this?
Mm, mm,
That's irrelevant. You can't keep something that's always here.
mm.
What's between the observer and the observed?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel the mind is crazy there, looking for answer.
Yeah. It can never find something that does not require an answer. The mind is the question that tries to keep up an answer
Mm,
because you'll never be able to answer something that does not exist, right? So
mm, mm, mm.
it's just sobriety. We get addicted to their stories, to our narrative, to how we feel about our family, how we love them, how much we don't like them. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. Well,
Ultimately, everything ends, but something never ends because it
mm,
never really began.
yes.
Our story started, it will end.
Mm, mm.
That we are that is prior to the story and post the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have realized that even though I am still in the mess of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
there is some drop of this certainty that
Yeah.
the home is here.
Yeah.
And I have tasted. Um,
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know what it feels like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it's like.
It's here. It's
Yeah,
really simple.
yeah.
Don't compare it with what it felt like. Take away the
Mm,
language of this moment
yeah.
and take away the next, take away the past. That's it. There's really nothing to talk about after that, right?
Yeah.
You can't force it. You can't keep it. You can't hold on to it. You can't get rid of it. You just think that you don't have it. You just think that you don't have clarity. You just think that you're not quite there. But take away
Mm,
the mind at this moment. Who's there and who's not there? It doesn't matter.
mm, mm,
Yeah, and just in between acceptance and rejection, just surrender, you know, right? And it just goes deeper and deeper. And sometimes you might feel that you're stuck even, but that's
Mm.
just a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the anger and the frustration, right? So
Mm.
simple, isn't it? The mind wants to make it complex, but there's no complexity.
Mm. 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 Mhm.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm turned off.
Yeah.
Blank.
Like, yeah. Yeah. That's why I do these follow-up sessions, right? So,
Yeah.
because I know that the mind will fight this, right? Or
Yeah.
sometimes someone does a session and they walk for 3 days,
Mm. Mm.
really, really clear. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they cry, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
or they
Yeah.
laugh like they're insane or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm gonna stop. And then that's it. You're turned off. What else can be there?
Yeah.
What else can be talked about, right? So I'll
Yeah.
stop the recording.